Follow the script, don't ask why. Same lie, different suit, different time. Left, right, red, blue. If it don't add up, that's on you. Seems sus. We bring the heat. Think. Seems sus. We bring the heat. Lines in the sky, they say it's fine. Turn off your brain, trust the sign. Resist, obey, comply, die. Same old game, new reason why. Screens stay loud, truth stays buried. Breaking news, but the facts get blurry. Seems sus. We bring the heat. Think. Seems sus. We bring the heat.
We are live, airing to all 18 million people streaming.
Holy crap, that's a lot of people.
Sorry for everyone that didn't get to see our beautiful faces last week. I was being attacked by the sun and got royally burnt along with the rest of my family. I have been peeling like a reptilian.
Did you spread coconut oil on yourself?
No, I probably should have. I would have been baking on the beach. So, have you ever been to the ocean?
Yes.
Did you get into the ocean?
Yeah, I swam in it. I didn't realize how salty it was my first time doing that.
Well, I stuck my feet in it and it was really cold and I didn't want to get into it because I know what lurks in the water. I've seen one too many movies.
There's that too, but the saltiness is freaking weird to me.
Isn't it strange that 70% of the world is covered in water that we can't drink?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
We have to have fresh water, but the ocean is majority of the planet. And
I guess I'm like a caveman dumb, but how could we live then? Don't we have to filter it out? But how do you do that naturally? I guess I could probably Google that, but how would you know?
Well, fresh water, like from streams and creeks and everything else, they don't have the salt content in there. I don't know why. I'm not a scientist, but there is no salt content in fresh water. Which is strange because if you're on an island, there's fresh water on an island, but yet that's surrounded by salt water. I don't know how that works.
Right. Fresh.
For all of the 18 million listeners out there, this episode, we're going to talk about the alien agenda. And I'm not talking about the ones that are getting deported because they're illegal. I'm talking about the illegal ones from other dimensions or planets we don't really know. Which is actually kind of interesting. Before we get into all that, there is a guy that used to be in charge of one of the government's UAP task force or whatever before it became very popular. This is probably like in the last 20 years. And he's written books. And in the books, he's basically, from what I've gathered, he's not calling like UFOs and UAPs and stuff like that. He's not saying they're aliens. He's basically saying there's a paranormal aspect to them. Like some sort of a supernatural vibe to the whole thing. Which is kind of strange.
Right. So then everything we know about aliens. Well, you know what's funny is that everything we know about aliens is wrong, but then they haven't really told us the truth about them in the first place. So it's like, okay, so now you're adding another spin on it. So what is it? You know?
Well, last week, the vice president said that they were demons. Which is odd.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
An odd thing for someone to come out and say is that he thinks all the UFOs and stuff and aliens are demons.
So they're still going with fallen angel theory?
Possibly. It does fall in line with that. And we will get into that here in a little bit because there's more to that than just that whole aspect. But this is the weird world of weird, I guess. I don't know how to come up with a better saying for it. But other than the fact that this past week or two, there has been so much weird going on in the UFO communities because for some reason we decided we're going to fly back around the moon. We didn't actually land on the moon because, we just flew around it the second time, supposedly. And then they released photos that look very similar to the same photos that were released back in the 1960s, even the same clouds in the same position. So that was pretty interesting. And then there's been a whole lot of talk about the UAP transparency with this representative Tim Burchett. I don't know if he is a representative or he's a senator, but Mr. Burchett is supposedly been privileged enough to see some of this classified information behind closed doors. And he said if we knew some of the stuff that was out there that they've talked about, the whole United States and the world would be turned on its head from all of the stuff that's going on and the stuff that they actually know about. And then Mr. Matt Gaetz, who used to be a representative in Florida, who I always thought looked like a grown-up Jimmy Neutron, he looks like a supervillain. I don't know what everything about him just looked like a supervillain with his haircut and everything else and his
He
skeezy
looks
smile.
like, remember that Primus video, like Winona's Big Brown Beaver, and they kind of got like a plastic face. That's what he looks like, like a Muppet puppet thing.
He reminds me of a very bad android.
Yeah, like kind of like that. Yeah.
He doesn't look human. He looks like a very bad android or something from the Matrix.
Right.
But
Plastic skin.
he claims that he was witnessed to information of an alien hybrid program that our government is doing with aliens. And they are kidnapping illegals and other... Maybe gonna throw a spin on it here in a second, but they're gathering up caravans and other things of illegal aliens, and they're using them as test subjects. That's like, so in my way of thinking, is this what ICE is actually doing when they're not deporting people they're deporting them to get experimented on for the hybrid program, which was kind of the whole thesis of the X-Files. The whole story of the X-Files was about the alien hybrids. So here we are 30 years later, and it's still a topic. But there's also this disappearing general who was privileged enough to have a lot of information about the UAPs and other sort of top secret stuff. And someone like that usually just doesn't go missing.
They came and got him. They beamed him up. Like, oh, you said too much. Boop. Or whatever noise it makes.
Well, think about this. And I think I did say this to you already. People like that just don't go missing. If someone was privy enough to have all the secret information that could completely derail, do you think they let that person just go?
No.
They have him on lockdown. So if he left his phone, all of his information at home and everything, he just completely disappeared. And they can't find him, but yet they can find a person crashed, hiding in the middle of the desert from their heartbeat from 40 miles away. How can they not find this one person or any other missing person? And if they have that technology, how come that's the first time we've heard about it? And it wasn't like some big secret. They just talked about it and they're like, yep. Again, that's the second time they've released weird information about technologies that we never knew about. Like the sonic thing, the vibration thing that made all the other people sick when they did the whole thing in Venezuela. Now they talked about having this heart murmur thing.
So far, it's worthless, in my opinion. Unless, aside from finding people, but the first one, what's good is that going to do? That's just another war toy.
Everything's a war toy.
So how about, where's all the cures and the med beds and shit that they joke around on the internet about?
They don't want to cure anybody.
Of course not.
That is,
but they'll find them with their heartbeat.
That is the sad truth, though, is they don't care about you and me or anybody else other than the people that work for them.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there was a president that has said that I don't work for you as he was pointing at one of the people, which is funny because isn't that the opposite of what it's supposed to be? Because I thought the government worked for the people, we the people.
Right. We the taxpayers pay your salary and never see return on it. Cool. So before we go further, like I don't remember at any point. I mean, I don't try to read the propaganda news, but I don't remember at any point that they said they were going to return to the moon. It just
It just came out of nowhere.
so it did. It's okay. I thought maybe you knew more about this than I did. So then all of a sudden, the technology that was apparently lost to go back to the moon, and suddenly, hey, we're going to the moon. I'm like, what? Okay, that's like I'm pregnant. Just drop one of those. That's what it felt like. Like, oh well, okay. And should I party? What's going on? I could give less a shit. The whole moon thing was weird anyway. But I
Mm,
mean, you got a good majority of people that'll get mad because they get pissed off about faking the moon landing. Which I don't know. Like when you look at it, there sure is enough evidence to kind of prove that how the shitty the technology is that
yeah.
they had and who took the first picture. And it's like you could call them from a fucking landline. I'm like, what? That's amazing.
Yeah, all of
The
that
mo-
makes zero sense, and I've tried to argue with Chat GTP to see if I can get it to talk about how the moon landing wasn't real, but it won't. It's too programmed to not do it.
right,
So the moon mission was just pocket sand,
right.
pretty much.
I mean, I don't want to like say like space isn't real or anything, but like that whole moon thing is like strange.
I felt like I heard some stuff they were talking about wanting to go back, but I didn't realize it was going to happen so
Right.
quickly. And then all of a
They
sudden, it
kept
just
saying this comet was gonna fucking hit us, or what was that comet called? We made a countdown for it, and I
yeah,
don't
never.
remember.
It came around in December, and we didn't get wiped out.
Like, that's what I kept hearing. I don't remember anybody going, "Hey, we're preparing to go to the moon."
They didn't actually go to the moon, though. That's what's funny.
Well,
Like, not just saying this as a conspiracy, like they've admitted they didn't go to the moon. They just flew around the moon and came back. So what was the point? Just to say
because they
we,
don't have the technology to land on it.
I guess, we flew around the moon. Well, why didn't you guys land on the moon?
I
This is,
don't know.
how did they use a rocket? You have to leave Earth's gravity, and it takes a whole lot of fuel and a whole lot of force just to get past Earth's gravity, and you don't get burned up in the atmosphere, but things get burned up on the way back in, but you don't get burned up on the way out. That doesn't make any sense. And then once they're in space and there's no gravity and you're traveling at a specific speed, you can go faster as it keeps going. The further they go, the faster they get. They were going like 24,000 miles an hour, which seems incredibly fast. So they
Right.
managed to circle around the moon and come back. The original thing in the 1960s, they would have had to have done all of that, landed on the moon, did all the shit on the moon, which how'd they get the Land Rover on the moon? Because you look at the thing that landed there, it wasn't even big enough to carry that Land Rover that they drove
Right.
around on. And then they somehow got back on that lander and shot themselves back up into space, reattached to their ship, and then flew back to Earth. How did they have enough fuel to do that? Like,
And for it being almost like an experiment, it's like we
yeah.
hope this is gonna fucking work.
The first time they tried it and it was flawless. Crazy. And they had all this great footage and the whole world watched it. All 600 million people.
Right.
I don't know. It's too Hollywood for me. I don't know.
Right. Too sus.
Yeah. So
But
again,
I guess it made a lot of people. Maybe you know what, man. It just made a lot of people happy. For once, they forgot about arguing with your fellow man. It's like, oh shit, we're going to the moon. That's more important than everything else that people argue about.
the only thing that gets me is If it was fake, how come other countries haven't said it's faked? Why are they just going along with it? Because like China or Russia or whoever would have said, no, we didn't really go there. The other
Look at
issue is people claim you can actually look at the moon and you can see the stuff still on the moon with a high powered telescope. And I don't know if that's true because I've never had a high powered telescope to see it.
mm,
But I don't. The whole thing about the moon landing itself just seemed weird.
yep.
But not as weird as politicians, but
Yep.
that do a lot of weird things in general. But before we get into all the alien stuff, this another thing of weirdness today was Miss First Lady coming out and having a press conference saying she didn't know Epstein and was not involved in any of the stuff that he was doing and didn't know anything about anything that he was doing. I was like, why did that come out of nowhere?
Yeah, that was up. I kind of watched some of it, and I'm like, oh, she's finally talking about it.
It,
Okay, after being kind of quiet, it was.
it's just random because no one's really brought it up mainstream lately because they've been all blaming about shit going on over in the Middle East. And then this just
Mm,
come about this morning. I was like, that's weird. Odd timing.
I mean, I feel like everybody was distracted by it, and then she's reminding you that hey, it's still around. Maybe shit'll happen because the woman, when the woman takes charge, things get done, right?
Sure.
Sure.
I don't know. But I think the first thing that we will dive into is the missing general. The dude's been missing for how long now? It's been like 2 weeks.
Something like that.
I forget even like where he was, but it is strange to claim like in his house, like he just left all of his stuff there and he just vanished. And I assume he had family or people who like, and again, people like that don't just disappear. I'm sure they have ways of tracking him regardless. I'm sure they probably have some sort of like implant that they do to some of these people where they give them some sort of a shot because I have people that have been in the military in my family, plus friends of people that have been in the military. They all get their vaccinations. They all get all their little shots and stuff. Who's to say that some of these high ranking people don't get some sort of a tracking device planted in? They wouldn't know. I mean, I just feel like if they're going to try and keep tabs on somebody that knows all this sort of information, they don't just up and vanish unless they make them vanish.
I'm actually shocked that he would be in the public eye anyway,
Well, he
saying all that
wasn't.
shit.
He wasn't. I don't know why that's the other
They
thing.
just
This is funny. They've announced that he's missing, but local police departments and normal you and me cannot find him and help. If we see him, we have to report him to the military. The military has to be the ones that pick him up. He cannot be picked up by local authorities.
how does that gonna go? Like, hey, do I get a reward for this? He's down the road from me at a Denny's. Do I get a reward? Trying to rat him out.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if he's that like classified and they've announced that he's missing, and that's like the first you hear about this guy, it's like they wanted you to know about him, but it's strange that they tell you can't do anything to him. Like you can't help find him. Like if you see him, he has to be picked up by military. Are they afraid that he's going to say some shit to like local people? At that point, they'd just say he's crazy.
He's an alien then. Just in a suit.
As I say, maybe he is an escaped William McCaslin. Isn't even McCaslin. He is William Graveman.
I feel like I wouldn't know what he looks like aside from like he just looks like a normal guy. I probably wouldn't even notice or bat an eye.
It's just strange that they would even say anything about it though, if they didn't want people to know. So it's almost like a distraction.
Looks like Bill Gates, anyway, if you look at him.
No.
With darker hair.
Why is Bill Gates been back in the media all of a sudden?
Oh, because they're actually gonna make him confess in June about the whole island stuff.
I doubt that.
I know it's just a game again, as or RODO34 says, we are ruled by oligarchs and they use their lies and deceptions to control us. Slaves. So,
Supposedly, Ghislaine Maxwell is ready to talk.
that's a new one. I didn't hear that.
I heard this yesterday. I don't know how true it is, but she is ready to talk, and she has a whole list of people that she's willing to talk about, but she says these people are untouchable, so anything that could happen, they couldn't be prosecuted anyways. So,
But that doesn't mean the neighborhood won't like grab pitchforks and be like, we'll take justice in our own hands with gasoline cans and pitchforks.
I don't know. Which is, here's what's even weirder. The thing with Matt Gaetz, we talked about him a little bit ago. He does look like a supervillain to me. I've said this. And
Right.
he's such a supervillain and a weird person that even the government didn't want him. Like, he was supposed to be on like one of Trump's, was he supposed to be like attorney general or something? What was he originally supposed to be going for? And then all of a sudden he gave up his chair to do this and they didn't get voted in. All of a sudden he don't have it anymore. They did a quick election and then he's just been pushed out of the government. Now he's a podcaster, which apparently that's what everyone does these days is podcasting. But he had gotten in trouble before for soliciting a minor. It's kind of strange that if this whole thing is about protecting those type of people, like the certain agendas of people claim that this whole administration is about is protecting the child traffickers, wouldn't this guy have been right in their one of their go-to people? Or is it because he got caught, they didn't want anything to do with him, so they tried to distance himself?
I don't know.
But again, of all people, why was he the one that was made privileged enough to be debriefed on the human hybrid stuff with aliens? Like, that makes no... Of all people, why would you pick him?
Because he looks like an evildoer.
Well, that, or they did that because it's complete bullshit, and they figured he would be the one to go out there and spread misinformation. That's how they test these people. They give them a bunch of crap.
You never noticed that, though? Like, every time, like, they work for him, Mr. T, whatever, and then, like, they get kicked off, and then they immediately, like, all their credibility is, like, lost. Isn't that strange?
Kind of like the big giant fucking rant that he did today about all the former reporters he had that now are all against him.
Oh, well, see, that's another example of that. And it's just strange. Like, I know everybody hates him as much, but then anybody else that works under him that got knocked off it's weird. It's like, I thought these people were friends, and now all of a sudden they're all turning on each other. Unless it's just a game, but it is very strange.
The world is a stage.
It's a shitty stage, like one at a shitty bar or a shitty venue that we'd play at or something.
Yep, that's the stage.
In the corner with one fucking power strip.
Can you guys turn it down? You're making the bar start to rattle.
Right.
Did that ever happen to you before?
No.
You've never been asked to turn down?
No. Surprisingly, no.
Yeah, we had that happen before.
Oh, man. Those are the days, huh?
Yeah. So anyways, this human hybrid experiments that are doing, supposedly what goes on is the United States government and Eisenhower signed some sort of a treaty back in the 1950s with these aliens, and they were supposed to give them, I think it was 100,000 people a year, which seems like a lot.
Climate tree?
I don't know. Like it seems like a lot of people, 100,000 people. But that was like the treaty they signed with.
Oh, treaty. I think it says climbed a tree. Sorry.
Your phone is like going off in my ear.
Sorry, I'll move it.
But
the
buzzer.
The buzzer.
But so basically they signed this treaty. The aliens can come and do whatever they want to these people, and supposedly they're giving them indigenous people, which they aren't the most like mortified people as it is. So They get the Native Americans. They get the migrants that come from South America. And in Canada, they get the indigenous peoples from Canada, which I did not know this until recently, but they are the most abused and abducted up in Canada.
Hmm.
As far as like just disappearing. There's like a huge amount of girls in Canada that just go missing from indigenous tribes.
That's new.
Yeah, I did not know anything about that, but I'm going to have to look into it. So that's apparently a big thing that don't get talked about a whole lot is what goes on in the good old Canadians.
Yeah.
But this is what apparently he was witness to. He saw that they're doing all these experiments, and he had to see the information that they're working on a hybridization of aliens and humans. For what purpose, I have no idea. And why all of a sudden is he bringing that up, I don't know. But then you go to Tim Burchett, who is one of the big guys from Tennessee. Again, I don't know if he's just a representative or he might be a senator. I didn't really pay attention to that because I don't really care. And he is now talking about the fact that they need to release all this information because he has seen stuff from behind the UAP stuff, and a lot of the stuff that he has seen, it's not what we think it is. Which goes back to this guy that was doing it 20 years ago out at Skinwalker Ranch and other places, and he basically said the same thing, that what people think that they actually know, they could be further away from the truth. And there's a very supernatural element to this stuff. It's an intelligence, but it's like a paranormal aspect to it. To me, that doesn't sound very alienous. Like, to me, that sounds like a spiritual type aspect to it. And then you got your vice president calling them demons.
What's that one movie? Event Horizon.
Oh, where they go to hell on the spaceship.
Well, look, that movie might be a documentary now.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie, but that was the movie that the Resident Evil director, I said Paul Worthless Shit Anderson directed. That was like one of his first movies.
Mm.
And then he did Resident Evil and got
I have to watch it again. Maybe it's actually good because it would seem like it wasn't going to be a franchise he'd ruin. But I just remember that creepy element of like the ship going to hell, and I'm like, what the fuck? Well, that went a different way. So
it kind of reminds me of that video game Dead Space concept too.
Okay, I remember that.
They were just infected by some sort of I forget what they called it. It was some sort of a rock. Had like some sort of a weird spiritual thing to them.
Interesting. So, like, basically, it's no different than reality is no different than fiction. Now, that's funny because the only time I ever pay attention to politicians and like military figures is when they talk about this stuff. It's like, yeah, this is what I want to hear because it's so outlandishly weird. Because for the longest time, nobody was talking about this until recent years, and it's like that to me is interesting, to be honest. Like, I don't want to hear all the other dumb shit that we got to deal with, but as
the president signed a thing that they have to disclose all that information, and here we are. It's been like a month now, and they haven't disclosed anything
because they don't want to. He can't force people to either, but he's got to tell them you're allowed to. I mean, there's a lot of things that he lets go and nobody does. So
I want to know, what is the reasoning as to why all of a sudden now? Why now are the alien agendas and the UAP, like why within the last couple of years has it became so popular of a topic that even now the government is bringing it up? Like they've released pictures, they've released videos, they've come out and mentioned things of interdimensional. But again, if you even think of interdimensional, look at this. If say that it does have a supernatural, paranormal aspect to them, what we think of ghosts, and we say paranormal, we think of ghosts. So we're thinking spirits, a spirit realm. So that's a different world. Well, what if they're not actually spirits, but they're just something from a different reality, like a different dimension? So they're in their own dimension. So again, if these things are coming from a different dimension, that could be what the same thing that we think of ghosts could also be whatever these supposed aliens actually are, or what people are calling demons.
I would actually kind of be on that side of the coin to believe because what was that one clip of that guy talking on a radio station and he goes they're interdimensional,
Oh yeah,
not
from coast to coast.
that whole thing. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm. They're not what we
So
think they are. They're interdimensional.
that way we
That was
don't
from the
really
fucking
travel,
90s too.
right? It's like we don't travel in space. We can actually like use a portal and supposedly because you hear all the time there's such thing as portals. I'm like that's pretty fucking creepy though, that whole kind of thing. But sometimes it's just viral videos. You don't really know if they're real anyway. So there's just so much we don't know about.
The last 4 years have gotten really bad with AI stuff, and then the last 3 years have gotten bad with more AI photos, and the last 2 years now it's AI videos. So at this point, there's no, you don't even know what to believe. But if you go back before we had AI, again, back in the 90s, even in the 80s, like, and I'd mentioned this prior on a episode about the Ninja Turtles, where were the bad guys from? Dimension X. So that was the 10th dimension. So they
Oh
clearly,
yeah,
science talks about having other dimensions. So it's not
right.
anything that's new. It's just strange that all of a sudden now that's what they're referring to where these alien ships are coming from.
At what point did anybody ever think about the idea of a dimension? I mean, I just remember like, um, what is that? People in chuck wagons and shit, and settlers. And at what point in the story did the word dimension come into play? Like science fiction, and all that.
We're about to find
It's
out
like
because I'm asking that question.
to rock.
Uh, it should be Grok, but no, it's not.
Mm.
Uh, it's taking it completely different, wrong. Basically, Einstein claims that Albert Einstein, early 1900s, combined space and time for 4D space time. This is real physics, not necessarily a theory. Higher
I think
dimensions.
he's full of shit.
This
I
higher
said it here. Fucking Einstein. Sorry.
Einstein's full of shit. Higher dimensions,
Yes.
where it gets weird, says modern physics and string theory suggests there are 10 to 11 or more dimensions. These are not directly observable, used to explain the universe on a deeper level. So they're theoretical because science and string theory can prove it, or supposedly theoretically prove it, but there's never been any proof of it. I don't know.
I don't believe he was that smart. I think he was just made up too. There's no way a regular person could be that smart.
Yeah.
Not in the times he lived in. Wasn't it like poverty? He survived World War II, right?
Yeah. So this says 3D space is observable and proven. 4D space time is scientifically accepted, and anything above the fifth dimension is theoretical models and has not been confirmed physically or visually.
But who came up with all that? Gotta remember, we used to be in chuck wagons and not die of dysentery.
It says Bernard Riemann
German.
proposed that space could have more than 3 dimensions. This was in the 1800s.
Oh,
And Euclid, around 300 BC, normalized and formalized 3 dimensions, length, width, and height. He's the one that made geometry, basically, what it is today. So those were the dimensions. This German guy in the 1800s says there could be more dimensions. Einstein said there was 4D with space and time, and now string theory and modern science claims there's probably up to 11 or more dimensions.
it was the Greeks. They knew about it.
The Greeks knew everything.
You ever hear that theory about the Bermuda Triangle? Apparently that's where Atlantis used to be, and they had some sort of like, I don't know if it was a pillar or some kind of stone. And when the whole Atlantis sank, the pillar stone powers is what made people crash into it. But then again, you've seen that meme where they're like, "Man, it's really quiet in the Bermuda Triangle. Whatever happened to that thing?"
So I'm going to have an interview here. I need to set it up. But someone written this book, and it is called, where the hell did it go? Atlantis Through Time, the writing and rewriting of an occult legend. So this guy, his publisher and PR person has reached out to me. They sent me a copy of the book in PDF file, but said they'll send me an actual physical copy, and I might have them send me the real copy because I like to have the real books that people write that come on the show, because why not? And basically, he is not saying Atlantis is real, but he's wanting to know why people still talk about it, why it was accepted. So, because originally it was a story created by Plato, which Plato is also, I'm pretty sure, the same guy that has the theory of the cave, which, do you know the story of like the cave?
No, I mean, I don't trust a guy named after Clay, but go on.
He, well, this is obviously like back in the BCs. He's a Greek guy. And the story of the cave is there was things on, it's basically, it's a dimensional thing. And they wanted to get on the outside of this cave outside. There's something on the outside. So once they got outside the cave, they're in like a different dimension. Like all life was stuck in the cave. I don't know the exact thing. I'd have to go back and read it. Like I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version. So this guy was talking about stuff like that back in the BC times. And now here we are today talking about the same thing. So it's kind of strange that someone 2,000 years ago talks about things that are very relevant today. I think it was 300 BC, though, that Plato made up a story about Atlantis sinking. So back then it was a myth. It went from a myth to a legend to fiction. It went from fiction to myth to legend, whatever, to people talk about it now and search for it. It became really popular in the 1800s for treasure hunters. I don't know.
Interesting.
History lesson for the listeners today. Oh yeah. Back to alien probings. Who made up that?
I feel like we brought this up. We never got an answer.
The great listeners out there have never told us where the whole probing thing came from.
And you would think like that'd be the worst place to go. Not, how about down the throat?
I don't know. To be honest, and like I said, the whole probing thing, and people say that the aliens, they were abducted and they got probed, to me that just sounds like they're covering up some sort of childhood traumatic instance from Uncle Creepy or something.
Could be.
And their minds manifested that. I don't know.
Yeah. That sounds kind of plausible.
I mean, that's the only thing I could possibly think of when it comes to that.
I just don't think aliens would do that. They have better tools than that, than just going up your ass. They can literally scan you and
if they can
erase
fly
your memory
through intergalactic space and get here, the first thing they're going to do is abduct you to go and examine your butthole.
Right.
That doesn't make any sort of sense.
If that's the case, I won't wipe for a long time. Sorry, humans around me.
The aliens are getting the dingleberries.
And some.
That's disgusting.
I just realized there's this duck icon.
It's changed.
Well, like you could put your mouse over it and it kind of moved. It nods its head. You put your like icon over it.
I think it does that automatically. Because mine was moving a second ago and I didn't even move my mouse. I don't know. They changed their logo, and I refuse to give them $100 a month. So fuck you, StreamYard. I'm using your free plan.
Take that.
Hey, shout out. This studio's paid off now. I no longer have a barn payment.
Good job. Good job.
Thanks to all the listeners out there making me fat rich.
Good job. Fat listeners. I said, good job giving them the fat bucks.
Yeah. So I appreciate that with all your ad revenue. Because, I live high on the hog and don't have a real job or anything that actually pays all my bills.
No, you live in a basement doing this all the time. Uh,
Some people do. And apparently it's lucrative. Just not for me. Did you freeze up? Hello. What are you doing? And we've lost Ed. Maybe he's getting probed. So now I'm here talking into the ether of space by myself while he froze and disappeared. And now he's back.
I don't know what happened.
I asked you.
I'm like, I don't remember pushing anything weird that it kicked me off.
Your microphone's on the wrong microphone now.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. That's so weird. I didn't touch any. Not enough to kick me out. Unless I accidentally hit Live Studio.
I don't know. It looked like you completely froze up and then you just disappeared.
That's so weird. I don't remember at any point where I hit Leave Studio.
I thought you were having a stroke for a second because your face got all weird looking and you're just staring straight into the camera, not saying anything.
Yes, I had a stroke.
I said, well, maybe you got abducted. We were talking about being probed, so I wanted to come get you while you're still clean. Your face is doing it again. Are you leaving again? And he's gone again. Oh. At this rate, we're probably going to wrap this one up because clearly we are having technical difficulties.
I'm not touching anything.
Like your face was doing it again. Like you get your eyes go from side to side, and all of a sudden you just disappear.
Maybe I'm not me. I'm not touching anything. I'm keeping the icon away from the StreamYard anything.
I say apparently the little thing that you're clicking up there to try and make the duck move doesn't like that.
I wasn't even near the duck.
Don't fondle
so
the duck.
I'm not touching the window because I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Each time, like your face is, you're just staring off, and I see your eyes going from side to side, and all of a sudden you just disappear.
That's weird. Anyway,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been talking shit about StreamYard. I didn't talk shit about StreamYard.
No, I just said I wasn't paying them.
So they're like, "Oh, I found I found someone making profit off us."
Basically, they found out that
I wasn't even near the Leave Studio thing. It just, thank you for using StreamYard. I'm like, and it did it twice. There's no way. Anyway, back on the subject. I'll be here. If it kicks me off, then there's a problem.
Oh, now my eyes are itching.
Because my hand ain't even on the damn mouse.
So,
I was gonna bring up the fact our governor signed a bill to keep the gas tax off, which was fucking weird because I've never heard of that in my life.
I
It's
don't.
like, oh, now you're being nice, huh?
Yeah, I don't actually like that because that's how I get paid.
Oh, sorry.
All of my career stuff gets
This
paid
is your
through.
career. You're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh yeah, my day job of engineering, I get paid for by the government.
Mm.
I'm a hypocrite. I don't work for the government. I just do government work. But basically, we get paid through gas taxes. So all the road work to fix bridges and highways and everything else gets paid from the taxes from gas. And without that gas tax, there's going to be shortage of money But most of these things that are already out there have already been funded prior, so it's not like it's going to affect anything right now, but it might affect things in the next year or two. But it's only a 30-day ban.
You should write your you should write your governor about your situation now.
You need to start charging taxes again, man.
For me.
Me and my coworkers and all the
Right.
people's in the construction businesses. Well, again, this is where I struggle with, because I 100% think taxation is theft.
Right.
But I'm a hypocrite, because if it wasn't for taxes, then people like me also wouldn't get paid normally, because you have to have some sort of way of paying for infrastructure. And I don't know how to do that without having taxes.
I agree with that, but I feel like the taxes should be just they should come from somewhere, but not like the way they are, if that makes sense. A restructuring would probably help, but that'll never happen. Like,
I also don't think politicians should be career politicians. I think there should be term limits in each state and each federal government.
right.
So it's not the same old fuckers that have been in charge for the last 80 damn years.
I mean, have you seen how some of them drive? Well, not politicians, but older folk cannot drive. A lot of them can't. It's like almost scary, and you expect this person to be sitting in a chair figuring out what you need to do.
Well, why do we elect people to be quote unquote presidents by believing that elections are real? Is another completely different topic, but let's just say that they are, and we elect these people. Why are we electing people in their fucking 80s that are basically 2 feet in the grave already to be leading us and telling us what we need to be doing? Motherfucker, you're going to be dead in the next 5 years. What does it matter?
That's why I wonder why people like Bernie so much, because he looks fucking ancient too.
He's been in government since the 1960s, and what has he managed to do for anybody?
Nothing. Just talk like he
He's
wants to be
fighting for
important.
the people, yet he has mansions and everything else, but he's one
Yeah.
of the people. Really, then donate some of that money that you've earned over the years there, Mr. Sanderson. Colonel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good old Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
Give me some of that fried chicken.
Dude, I went to KFC the other day and it took like 20 minutes. I didn't understand this. Like, yeah, I don't know. I know it's like fast food. But I don't understand.
At least it was fresh. Was it good?
It was all right. Like, I got the sandwiches and they were bagged up, and I don't like when they put them in the bag, because then all the steam gets in, then it just feels like a soggy sandwich.
So, and this is going to probably come off bad to people, and it's not meant to be this way, but you have to understand there's stereotypes for a reason. And I went into a Popeyes, and literally when I opened the door, I felt like I heard this. And everyone turned and looked at me because I was the only white person in the building. And then the food was amazing. It was Popeyes. I was down in the South, but I don't know. Like, I just felt weird because everyone was staring at me very, very weirdly because I was in there. I was like, all right. I don't know.
I mean, were you in the quote wrong neighborhood?
I don't know. I was off the highway. We were in Alabama.
I don't know.
But no, I was the only white person getting the food, got the food, ate the food. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I got the spicy Popeyes chicken.
Did you eat inside?
No, I just got it to go.
Just got it and left.
Well, they also forgot to give it to me. So I stood there for a few minutes. You were talking about being there for 20 minutes. I was probably in there about 15, and the lady at the register asked me, what was my name? And I told her, and what did I order? And then they ended up giving it to me.
Forgot about you.
Yeah.
This white boy don't get our chicken. Now, mind you, I love Popeyes. I don't care, there's no black stereotype on it. I just really like Popeyes. And we used to have one back in the day. And I've mentioned that on the pretty much every episode on the old podcast we had, that I love Popeyes. We used to have one here a long time ago. I mean, we have one now, but in Elkhart we had one, and I'd go there all the fucking time. And all of a sudden it closed down, and I believe they started opening back up in South Bend, and then we got one back in Elkhart, and I mean the food declined since. Now we have one in Goshen where I live, but it's like you guys didn't appreciate it enough. Now it's gone downhill.
We have one in Logansport now, which I haven't been to it. It used to be a Burger
Yeah.
King, I think, or they built
Mm,
it and Burger King was next to it.
yeah.
But I haven't been to that one. It opened 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then there's one in Kokomo. I've had it a couple times. I didn't really care for it, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like the last time, I mean, we have one in here in my town, and I went, and for what I paid and how it was, it literally put me off from going back. I just
Have you
not
noticed
impressed.
that stuff tastes different?
Yeah.
I've been noticing things have been tasting different. I don't know if that's because they've been changing the ingredients, but there's certain things that we used to eat and now things taste differently. And to be honest, I don't really like it. So I want my poison back, I guess. I've already, at this point, after 40,
RFK doesn't approve of that. You should be eating healthy.
You guys need to eat healthy again, otherwise you're gonna sound like me.
Oh yeah, it's true. Now, and also, what's with all the CEOs eating their burgers? Like they're having a burger war by eating their own burgers. Like
did you see
that's
how
not how you.
they don't even want to eat them? The one dude that was eating the one looked so awkward trying to eat it. He's like,
Now he's like making different commercial or bit different like videos on the McDonald's guy, right?
yeah, but now you know they're not even giving him real McDonald's. He's eating something else. It's probably like not even real meat.
Probably not.
He knew the first one he was eating babies, and he didn't want to do that.
It was just weird. It was like a whole franchise war of some sort. It's like you're not impressing me. How about you give me some of your food? I don't want to see your CEO eat that. I'm sure they don't eat it all the time anyway. I mean, apparently the Burger King guy, he's really bending over backwards to help out his own restaurant.
Burger King's
Like,
hamburgers are probably one of my favorite hamburgers from a fast food place. I like Rallies, but I don't know.
mm,
We don't really have one around here except for Kokomo.
yeah, I guess a good doubled Whopper with cheese is pretty amazing. Like for it being what it is, I thoroughly enjoy it. And then they went and like rewrapped it. It's in a box now. I'm like, when did this happen? I feel special.
So 6 years ago now, almost, it was during the Beast era. Anthony went and got a chicken sandwich from the BK here in Peru, and the motherfucker was raw. Like right in the middle of it, looked raw.
Interesting.
So he posted it on Facebook to the local things, and I shared it to one of the local pages, and it got taken down, and people were giving us crap saying it was fake. And no, like, why are you all defending Burger King in Peru? Like,
Hmm.
they gave him a raw piece of chicken.
Like the breaded one.
Yeah, it was a breaded piece, but the inside of it was all pink and raw
I thought
looking.
I would think it was pre-cooked. Interesting.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was raw looking. They claim it was
Sure.
fake. It wasn't even real. I was like, I know this dude for 20 something years. He's not faking a piece of chicken. He used to
Yeah,
didn't even
but
eat meat.
also, where do you get a football-shaped fucking piece of chicken like that? Nowhere, to be honest.
That's not even real. It's all processed. It's all not.
Right. It's shaped a certain way. There's no way anywhere else you could get one of those.
Mm-mm. They
It's
just.
shaped like a football kind of.
I still wish I could find that documentary or that news report that talked about the pink slime they put in the food. It was that like the preservatives they inject it with. It was like some sort of a pink sludge they put in like the hamburger meat at McDonald's.
I thought it was the chicken nuggets.
Chicken
before-
nuggets were not even real chicken. They were also processed meats, but the hamburgers themselves had a preservative. It was like a pink sludge they put into it.
Ugh. I don't remember that. I just thought
That
it
was
a-
probably the ground up babies that everyone keeps eating.
oh boy.
That was in the
You gotta go
Epstein
sit-
files.
It's like, how come you have what's the meme? McDonald's has like no dairy farms, but they have a lot of Ronald McDonald houses.
Right.
Well, sorry, your son didn't live, but he will be a Happy Meal by tomorrow.
You know what really we need to do a deep dive on is why is every McDonald's ice cream machine never work.
Because it's a lot of work to fucking clean that.
It's a running joke for how many years now that the McFlurry machine's never, the milkshakes
Right.
or there's never operational. You would think at some point McDonald's would get that shit fixed. Every mom and
No,
pop's place can have one except McDonald's, the biggest fast food franchise in the world, can't figure out their own ice cream machine.
yeah, that's sad.
That's pretty sus to me.
I mean, Culver's is next door to ours, and it's like I've never heard of their ice cream machine ever been broken, and that's kind of like one of their staples.
I do enjoy Culver's. They're expensive, but they're not bad.
They're all right. I feel like I'll have it once in a while, but I
It's
don't ever crave it. It's weird.
I don't mind it, I don't know. Like
Not enough human in it for me.
there's not enough ground up babies.
Ugh.
All right. I think we've rambled enough. The last thing I wanted to talk about though was the technology for finding that person.
Okay.
Isn't that just kind of out of left field that they just brought that out? Like again, that wasn't they just mentioned it like nonchalantly that they could find someone. But yet, how many missing people get lost in the woods and they don't use that to find people?
Hmm. Well, yeah, because they were kind of comparing. Now that I think about it, they were kind of comparing it to a guy stuck in a cave for 3 days and then came out. And it was around Easter time. So I don't know if they're trying to get biblical with that. I don't know if you knew this, the similarities.
Did they really find the person or are they just making it up?
It's hard to say because, they could always make themselves look good. Or
Again,
he couldn't even existed at all. I don't know.
it is
I don't.
strange. I didn't
We weren't
get the
there.
whole Easter biblical aspect to it, but if people want to go on a deep dive into biblical stuff, a lot of things that are going on right now are very anti-biblical. But we can't say certain things because we'll get banned, or I
Mm.
can't. My whole fucking channel will get wiped out instantaneously
Over Bible references.
over certain type of peoples and
Mm.
their evil ways.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I mean, if you compare it to that, I mean, if you keep the political aspect out of it, it's like good versus evil right now. What's going on? So allegedly,
But who's evil? That's where it comes
Mm.
down to. Like, it depends on what side of the fence you're on of who's good and who's evil.
Well, I'm definitely poor. That doesn't make me evil. So that makes me a piece of
I mean,
shit.
if you go around to every other country looking at us and we're going around attacking every country and being the world police like that freaking movie was, Team America, it's pretty much the same concept. Like,
Right.
if we went to if other countries came here and started to revolutionize us and give us some freedoms and everything and just started bombing shit and blowing shit up to help us, the people,
Yeah.
they would be labeled as terrorists. But when we
Very
go do
true.
that to every other country, we're liberating them. We are the heroes.
Mm.
So again, it's only good for the people that are benefiting from this side.
Right.
And again, it's not even about liberating anybody. It's all about oil. It's always been about oil.
Well, I did find it strange that how many people panicked the other day and he was gonna wipe the whole country off the face of the world, and everybody has an uproar for that. I knew it wasn't gonna happen because
Now,
that's just not good.
now people are
You know?
calling taco again.
Oh, the chicken's out. Like,
Mhm.
that's funny. I didn't know that. I'm like, what are you talking about? And you didn't tell
Trump
me. I'm
always
like,
chickens out. They call him a taco.
but does he? Well, then if he's so mad, then why is if people if
Well,
he's
that's what's
such a
funny.
chicken, why
Like
are people so
they
mad?
didn't want him to do it, but then they're calling him a pussy for not doing it. It's like it doesn't make any sort of sense. He's threatening to blow up this entire
Well, I don't
world.
know who called him one though, because I mean, people hate him regardless
It
of what
doesn't
he
matter what
does.
happens. They're going to hate on him anyways.
Right. That's why I don't care what goes on. It does none of it's benefiting me. It's just coming out of my wallet. I mean,
I'm not a fan. I'm not a hater. I don't really care.
yeah.
I understand that it doesn't really matter. All I know that it matters is how it affects me. And right now, what affects me is the fact that the cost of living has still not came down.
Right.
Prices of everything have not came down. And mostly it's all going up and people struggle. So until the day that we are living the American dream of not struggling, I don't see what benefit it does to have any sort of person, orange, blue, purple, whatever color, sitting on the throne of the White House. Doesn't matter.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're all still poor and they're not.
Right. I'm waiting for a change, which you probably won't see.
Maybe they should just send out some stimulus checks. America needs stimulated.
Yeah, but
Then you got to pay for it in the long run.
that's what I'm saying. There was a catch. I knew there was a fucking catch when they launched all those. Like, I wasn't very excited. I'm just like, I can smell something weird. I mean, I still spent them because what am I supposed to do? Let it just sit there?
I remember someone said when they got one that they were going to tear it up. They weren't cashing it. They didn't want anything from him. I was like, all right, give it to me.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't like them that much, then just share. I will get rid of the Nazi bucks. Put it in my PayPal.
The Nazi bucks.
I mean, I call him a Nazi, so this is Nazi bucks. If he does this stimulus or the dodgy thing he kept talking about, which
Doge.
that was all Doge. That was weird. Like I have not seen that money yet.
I don't know.
I guess he chickened out. He tacoed us.
Walking tacos.
Walking tacos. I never ate those. I think they're dumb.
Fritos with taco meat in them.
Right, in a bag. I'm like, that's dumb. These nachos. That's walking nachos.
We just don't understand your ethnic culture.
I guess that's not. I don't know. I just don't eat those. I'm not paying fucking $5 for like a bag of Fritos with shit inside of them. That I could have made at home. I want home cooked stuff, dude.
I didn't even like tacos up until like my teenage years. And I'm still picky about it. Some tacos have things in it that I don't like. When they make the meat, they put in like these weird little spices in there that have like onions and stuff, and I just don't like it.
You mean the best part? Nice.
No, I don't like it. I like the flavor. I just don't like the little chunks of onion.
It's like my wife. She's the same way.
It's weird. I'll eat onion rings from Burger King though. But I don't want onions on my sandwich or in my meat.
Well, I mean, those are more cooked.
Yeah, they taste different though. They don't taste like a normal onion. I don't know if it's because
they kind of cook the oniony flavor out somewhat.
Yeah, I said I'll eat onion rings. It don't matter to me, but
Do you eat blooming onions?
No.
Not at the steakhouse? You don't like those?
Never had one.
It's like a big onion ring.
It's like a big onion. I know what they are, but I've never had one. I'm
shocked.
I don't really go to that place.
I mean, there are like a lot of places. Like I asked my brother what he was doing Saturday, unrelated, but it's his birthday, and I was like, "Hey, I got a fucking Outback gift card." He's like, "Let me get back with you." Like, damn it, I want a blooming onion. The steak's probably like, I don't know, is Outback any good? Now they're talking about back on restaurants. I'm like, I don't remember if Outback's still good or not. I mean, I see why some of these chains are fucking failing and disappearing because the quality of life is and the meat has gone hill.
A little over 20 years ago, I was at an Outback and the waitress spilt the entire tray of drinks on top of me.
Friend of yours?
No, I didn't know who it was. She literally doused me in beverages, and I had to go buy different pants afterwards because it looked like I'd pissed myself. I was literally like full glasses of pop and whatever were dumped on top of me. They didn't even comp my fucking bill.
No. Shoes must have been new.
I don't know. Like I didn't get anything discounted, nothing. And I was so mad.
I bet.
And then I had to go to the store and buy a pair of jeans because I was completely soaked and I was going to the movies to watch. I don't know what the fuck I was watching, but yeah, I wasn't real happy. She didn't get a tip either. She got a nice little tip of how to be a better waitress. Don't spill fucking drinks on me. Which was weird because that had actually happened to someone else that I knew. I seen it happen. I was there at Applebee's in Marion. And it's funny because the girl, again, I can't verify the story, but they did know each other because she accidentally ran him over before on a moped. She hit him on a car. He was on a moped and she was driving a car and she hit him on the moped. And then she spilled drinks on him. And he told her, he's like, you really just don't like me.
Sounds like it.
So, yeah. And then he got comped for her dropping the drink on him. And then I went to Outback in Kokomo and they didn't do shit. History lessons for the listeners out there, because I know all 18 million of you care. But I think we're going to wrap this up. We've been rambling for over an hour. Next week, we will not be here. Other things going on. So, and my schedule is going to be on and off because things are getting very hectic for me here in my normal routine of life with having 18 million children that all do 18 million different things. So we will check you out the next time we are back, probably 2 weeks, but if it's not 2 weeks, wait longer.
Right.
Later, Gators.
Peace.